1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, more. 5 drop, 6 drop, 7 drop, 4. Put another pin drop on that titanium pad, and I'll be screaming gibberish like an Iranian mad. Too many BHO hits can hurt my cranium bad, but I'ma boil more oil than the Arabians had. I love to watch it bubble on the nail in the globe, inhaling it slow. Whoa, then I fell on the floor. Waking up, I don't know how I got here, or where I am, man, everything's not clear. I'm a weed snob, I like to act royal. I'm like borosilicate glass and hash oil. You're like swag, foiled in bad soil. I made my first batch, since then I've been mad spoiled. Bubble in the tube, I thought that it wasn't a waste, until I tried it and it fucking blew up in my face.
What's up, guys? This is 7 Cent Society. We didn't catch the interview originally with Lurch, so we're back here today to do that because he was gracious enough to meet up with us at Age. So
it was a little nutty at the show.
It was crazy. I mean, you guys saw the footage from how it was in that little dabbing spot and how many people were at the Goosefire, and I mean, it was just a madhouse.
I was really honored and happy that
it was a good turnout.
Yeah, like I did not expect that.
Yeah, it was definitely, I remember you coming up to me before the show and you're like, I don't know if anyone's going to show, I hope people show. You don't have anything to worry about. There's going to be so many people here, I have no doubt about it. I mean, your work is just amazing, dude.
Yeah, I saw the look on your face when you, I think you and a few friends stepped out and went to maybe get a drink or something across the way, and you came back and there was a bunch of people in there and you had like a surprise look on your face like, wow, this is good.
Yeah, I had to get a shot of Jaeger.
Yeah, I mean, you got it, dude. It's like you got a little antsy before the show, you know, it's like a lot of build-up going into a big gallery show like that, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So, how long have you been behind the torch, man, and how did you get your start, you know?
I've been behind the torch for, what year is it? 2012? Like 11 and a half years? Yeah, I started in November of 2000.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Right on, and how did that come about?
I was working at In-N-Out Burger and, you know, doing that thing, and a friend of mine I had gone to high school, she called me one day and she's like, hey, my sister has married this guy that distributes glass, and he's starting a manufacturing side, and he's training people how to blow glass. Would you be interested in learning? And I was like, sure. She's like, but you'll be making pipes. And I was like, okay. And so I went and interviewed, and at the time I didn't have a car, and it was in the San Fernando Valley, and I lived in the Antelope Valley, and that was like a good 45-minute drive. And they were like, cool, we'd like to hire you. Do you have a car? And I was like, sure. Yeah, no problem. Do you have any other spots available? Because my brother would totally dig a job here too. My brother had a car. And so they're like, sure, we'll give him an interview. And he came down the next day and he got the job, and I was like, sweet, I've got a ride to work. And yeah, he blew glass for a while, and then he ended up, you know, doing other stuff. But yeah, so I worked for basically a shop that made production for a company called The Crush, which distributed, back then they were super huge. And you know, that's what I did. I learned how to make fume spoons and Fritz spoons and inside out spoons and, you know, that kind of stuff.
I mean, here we are this many years later and we're chilling at Age, man. How does it feel, dude?
Oh, it feels awesome. I love,
how's the response been from all your fans and, you know, your followers, pretty much?
That's so weird to think that fans follow, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I do, yeah, I guess I do, you know, and it's really cool.
The glass community I think, is kind of changing a lot in the last couple of years. You know, there's like people that are just really following certain artists' work and stuff like that. You know, so
yeah, that definitely is happening.
Absolutely, and Goosefire is making a big difference by holding those monthly shows. And I was really glad when I saw your name come up, and you know, the turnout was excellent.
Yeah, way excellent.
Awesome,
like
dude.
A couple of days before a trade show even, and that was.
I had to get out of the Goosefire at one point because it was too crowded. There was too many people in there trying to check out your work.
Spot to begin with. It was like there's too many. I couldn't stand around.
And then we had to leave there because it was too crowded. I mean, it was literally, it was just so crowded. There was so much support, and it was really cool to see. I picked up the dish myself, guys. You're not gonna be able to quite see it from so far away, but We'll make sure we throw some close-ups on this little interview episode because it's really sick. It's pattern work is what you call it, right?
Yeah, that's pattern work or line work.
Okay, I mean, I've also heard them called like fingerprints or something like that. That's pretty damn
cool.
The
thumbprints is when they cut those up.
Okay.
And then the guys that are into doing the chaos style and the crunk style, they put them together and it does look like a thumbprint. And that style is not necessarily one that I do myself.
I think this looks like a thumbprint.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
to me,
really
it looks like a flower, and I totally did
that
it.
too. Absolutely.
It's a fun pattern to do, and it's one that is newer for my palette that I've brought out because I really don't like to bring out stuff that I don't consider clean. I don't like to sell non-clean work because it's got my name on it, and I want the end user to be super stoked on it. And I like hearing when people buy my work that, hey dude, I didn't notice this about the piece until like 3 months after I had it, and I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And,
for sure.
Yeah, you know, I had a guy buy Glow Dome, and he didn't realize it was a glow dome until like later, one night, you know, something like that. So that's awesome. It's like, cool, you bought it because you like the pattern work on it, and then later you found out it also had this like cool thing.
Yeah, we have some amazing pieces of art in front of us right now from Lurch right here. You guys can see.
Yeah, I can hold them up and talk about them.
Oh my god, some of them are just like out of this world, guys. I'm gonna stand up real quick and grab this one just because this is something that we're definitely going to show some extreme close-up on. I mean, it's just a beast. It's just, it feels great in your hands.
I try for my headpieces, they don't look like they would be comfortable to hold, but when if you get to hold one, they're like super easy and comfortable to hold. That's like really important to me.
It definitely has a place that you can hold it. I mean, you can't say that you can hold it like everywhere. There's a few places you can hold it, to be honest, but there's one really comfortable place in all the headpieces that you make for sure. Like right there, that's great, dude. I can't imagine actually having a piece of having it be that comfortable because it's really great.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing that we were talking about earlier was this piece right here.
Throw the curve on that.
Yeah, throw that curve on there. And the matching dish, guys. Don't forget about the matching dish.
Yeah, this one I bought one at the Goosefire.
Yeah, that's one I had to say I need to take that back because I want to show it here.
Yeah, I mean, this one needed to be aged, and I'm glad because it's in my hand right now. This piece is sick, so...
Yeah, I was super happy with the way that one came out.
Yeah, that's an amazing piece of art, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I was also curious about something, man. I mean, everyone's been talking about collabs lately. It seems like it's really popular right now, and I was just curious if you had any coming up, because I can't imagine how sick some Lurch collabs could really be.
Well, actually, I'm going to be moving from Southern Oregon back to Southern California. And, yeah, I'll be shopless for probably a good 6 weeks, I'm thinking, and yeah, there's a lot of places that already know I'm coming back and have said, hey, come by, we can make some collabs, you can work out of our place for a little while. And I definitely don't want to burn any spots, but I have enough to where I can kind of bounce around and hit up everybody that I've been wanting to work with and people I've worked with before. You asked about collabs. I've done tons of collabs. I've worked with Time and Chubbs were my first collab, and I had a piece on display at Goosefire, that one little orange guy. Yushin was the guy that really taught me how to do full
Yushin
line.
is amazing.
Yeah, well that's the thing, I was doing proto for so long, and then I was getting burnt out on it. Yeah, I had taken some years off where I really didn't do anything. I'd like dicked around in the studio a little bit, and then I started to get back into it, and I was just burnt on making low and proto, and I discovered glass pipes one day, and oh, I saw all this amazing work, and then I started reading these people's bios, and they had been blowing glass. Like, I had more years under my belt, but way less experience, you know, and I really felt sick to my stomach for like a good month. And then I'm not a person that likes to focus on the negative, so I was like thinking this is not doing me good to just like keep going and looking at these pieces and feeling bad about myself, you know? So Yushin's really stuck out at me, so he had left his email address, and I hit him up, and I was like, hey dude, will you please teach me? I used to love blowing glass, and I'm not liking it anymore. And he's like, yeah, no problem, come out. And he gave me like a 4-day lesson. and taught me how to full color tubing, how to wag it up, how to stack reballs together, how to like make a nice piece. You know, of course, like he was, you know, he's Eugene, he can do that. Like, but he's a really good teacher and had a really clear way of explaining it. And I remember I was gonna blow glass in front of him, you know, to like make sure I got something down right, like a tube pull or something he was gonna watch. And I was so nervous, and I was like shaking, and I ended up like the simplest thing, like attaching a blow tube to another tube of glass. Like I messed up, like, and I had to say, hey dude, I gotta admit I'm really nervous to blow glass in front of you. Just like give me 5 minutes. And I went out and I got a breath of fresh air, and I just like, okay, and I came back and I was fine. You know, finished the lesson. And, yeah, I really am so grateful to him and Nathan Myers. Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar
He's
with
incredible.
him. Yeah,
absolutely.
One time he was passing through the area I lived in, and he came by and stayed at my pad, and I was still early on in my head work, and he, I still feel like I'm early on in my head work, but you know, this was like a couple of years ago.
I wouldn't call that.
Yeah.
So, well, I've got ideas and things that I want to accomplish, you know.
Well, I'd
so.
say you're definitely extremely humble, but
thank
you should
so
know that you're very skilled. Don't change anything about being humble, because it's a wonderful
well, thanks.
trait. And it's only going to make you better at your trade, because you really seem to strive
I'm
for being better.
blushing now.
I'm
Thanks,
sorry,
man.
I'm not trying to.
I know, but
I'm not trying to be an asshole.
no, you're not at all. But anyway,
you know,
Before you get into the Nate Myers thing,
uh,
please, Nate, continue to make your domes like with the worked joints on them. I love them like that.
Nate is awesome.
No, I love Nate. I love Nate. I
works.
love Nate's work. But once I saw his worked joints on those sick domes, I was like, okay, now that's what we're talking about.
Great artist.
No, for sure. So, but you said you were going on with your story about that.
Yeah, he came by and stayed the night at my pad, and you know, actually I had run into Eugene like a month after this kind of flows, because it was like, oh yeah, I'll go. I took the Eugene class, practice making, because I couldn't make like a big Eugene bub, you know, so I started making slides. They were pretty popular, you know, like double stack reball slides, stomach slides, you know. And I was just really focusing on getting my wags tight and stuff, and I had a case full, and I ended up running into Eugene at this distributor's place, and it just happened to be Smoke Volume 1 opening night. He happened to be in town, so he stopped by this place where I was going to drop off some proto, and had my case of headies, or what were headies for me back then. And
what year would you say it was?
this was
Just curious.
like 2008.
2008.
Yeah, like November 2008.
Okay.
And this was December 2008, because that was when Smoked dropped.
Okay.
It was December, it was like December 5th, and I had taken my lesson November 4th or something like that. It was like exactly a month later. So, and Darby's there, and I'd known Darby from my proto days, not like known him, but he would occasionally come by the shop I worked at and like show you how to do like something that was super cool. You know, like how to work dichro right, or maybe do an implosion marble and write letters, you know, like, dude, so cool, such a cool guy. And then I run into both of them at this place, and so I show him my slides, and Eugene was like, cool dude, you know, like very encouraging, and I had made some bubs, and like the bottoms were like really bubbly and not like flat like I do them now, but I was trying, you know, you gotta, it's a progression, right? So, Darby comes up and he sees one of my pieces, and he's like, there's, you know, there were little spots that were janky and stuff like that. They were my early headwork, right? He's like totally cool about it. So, what happened right here? And I was like, oh, you know, the bend was a little like weird. I knew it doing that. And he's like, well, how come you didn't smooth it out while it was bridged? And I was like, bridged? What is that? And he's like, you don't bridge your pieces? And like Eugene at the time didn't bridge anything, and so he didn't show me bridges, and so. Darby totally is cool. He's like, well, what you do is you do this and this and this, and totally explained the bridge to me. And it made sense, you know, way cool. And I was like, thank you so much. So, like, not even, I want to say like 2 weeks later, a month later. It was probably a month later. I think it was in January. Nate comes by, Nate Myers, and I was like, dude, will you please show me how to make that cool Sherlock shape you make, because they're so clean and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah. I had some prep tubing done and stuff like that. And we made this, like, black and aqua, in Calmo. I think it was in black and aqua. I'm pretty sure it was a beautiful piece. I wish I still had that one. And a little marble on it. I did the air trap.
Bubbler?
It was was just a dry piece. But he totally showed me how to bridge to do the weld down there, and like, yeah, totally. I was able to physically see it, and he explained it. Super, super cool guy. I'm so grateful for everybody that's been so grateful. I would not be anywhere I am at without those people that have totally helped me along the way. Oh, Nathan Hussey, dude, I cannot leave that guy out. That guy's taught me a lot about glass. He's my, current shopmate for now for the next, week and a half. But I've been working at Euphoria Glassworks, and he's the big gorilla-looking dude, the big dude with the bushy beard.
And we just met him earlier over in Nerd's room.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's actually that's a Euphoria Glass.
Nerd and Sasha.
He's a really, really nice guy.
Yeah, super nice guy, and he does really great work.
Oh, dude, the Verconi.
His copters, dude, those are awesome.
There's gonna be some shots of that in a different episode, guys. You'll see it. I
Ben
got
Burton,
footage
what
of
an
it.
awesome
Crazy
artist.
shit.
There's so many great people in this industry.
Yeah.
And they're all super cool.
But we're gonna get back to checking out everything at Age. I think Lurch is probably gonna bounce out his room and check out some more stuff because that's how he does it.
I gotta
He's got
collect
a couple
my stickers.
people to hang out there with him. I mean, you've been so busy anyways. You deserve it. You get to go cruise around.
Yesterday was the day of demoing, so
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks
Sorry,
for,
I rambled. Jeez, I talked
that was great, dude.
It's
That was all that info.
I think everyone is gonna be really, really entertained. Honestly,
Yeah,
that was so cool.
Well, thanks for watching my interview.
Thanks, guys. That was 710 TV. This is Lurch right here. I'm MC.
And I'm Earl.
Peace.
Peace, guys.